Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to have a couple videos on my channel that are just kind of standalone, but are related to Catholicism because I am Catholic and I want to share that with you guys. So if you're not at all interested in that, that's fine. This video just won't be for you. I'll still continue to do my regular videos and things where I'm planning, so you will have those to look forward to. My creative collection is coming out right now, so I don't know when this will go up, if it's afterwards or if it's in the middle of all of this, but it might just be a bonus for some people, and that's fine. So I just kind of wanted to do a little chit-chatty thing and then just kind of talk about something that's very important to me, and then I wanted to give you guys as a resource. As always, I am not perfect. No one is perfect. I'm still learning about the Catholic Church. There's always more to learn about the Catholic Church and the Catholic faith. But it's something that I love, and I want to share the knowledge that I do have with you guys. So with all of that being taken in mind, I'm trying to do this in a humble way, so that it's God's words, not mine, and hopefully that all shines through for you guys. I have a class at 12, so I have an hour, but my camera shuts off after 30 minutes of filming, so that's always a problem. But maybe at some point I'll get some more stuff. So while we're doing this, I'm eating my lunch. Let's see. It's a Chipotle chicken wrap. So that's what that looks like. There's tomato in it, and I do not like tomato. Sorry, but so I'm gonna pull that out right away. All right. So if chewing grosses you out, don't worry, I'm going to edit out the majority, but if it gets to be too much, I totally understand. So first thing I wanted to talk about is this. 33 Days to Morning Glory, a do-it-yourself retreat in preparation for Marian consecration by Michael E. Gately. This was written by a priest. Copyright is, I believe, 2011. So if you have not heard of this book, been living under a rock if you're Catholic, but it's an amazing, beautiful devotion that many Catholics that I know have. I did a video of my consecration day where I put my bracelet on, so I'll probably link that either at the end of this video or somewhere, but hopefully that is interesting to you guys. So I'm doing that right now. Let's see, right now I'm on day 18. It'll probably be later than that by the time this gets posted, so maybe I'll have already reconsecrated myself, but this will be my 4th consecration. I put the bracelet on my 3rd. Yeah, so if you guys are interested to know more about that, please comment down below and let me know that, because then I will be glad to talk more about it. But I might be posting on Instagram and things, so if you follow me there, I'm SparkGirl247, SparkGirl247, on Instagram. So you can follow me there and maybe see some of the stuff that I post. But today I just wanted to talk about being Catholic in college, and being a practicing Catholic in college. So there's a big difference between calling yourself Catholic and being a practicing Catholic. Trying to word this right. So I'm just going to be using my catechism. Let me find the numbers that I need. Okay, so the precepts of the church, the precepts of the Catholic Church, there's 5 or 6, depending. But these are the things that constitute a practicing Catholic, where you are living the fullness of the faith, you are adhering to church teaching, and you're doing the minimum requirements to be a practicing Catholic. So that means that, like, these are the things you would want to do if you were going to receive Eucharist and really call yourself a practicing Catholic. So if you're not a practicing Catholic, you would need to go to confession before you can receive the Eucharist at Mass. So this is points that I don't think a lot of people know if they haven't been practicing Catholics, or if their parents haven't told them, or if they haven't been given the resources. So I wanted to explain this to you so that if you're not sure if you should be receiving Eucharist at this point in your life at Mass, then that would be one reason to look through this and kind of see. So this is under the Precepts of the Church. It's 2041 for the paragraph number. So if you needed to go and reference this, you can. It should be the same in all catechisms as far as I know, but this is just that one. I don't know what edition or whatnot, but this is a really handy resource. So let me read this to you, and then I'll kind of explain it in my own words. The precepts of the Church are set in the context of a moral life bound to and nourished by liturgical life. The obligatory character of these positive laws decreed by the pastoral authorities is meant to guarantee to the faithful the very necessary minimum in the spirit of prayer and moral effort in the growth in love of God and neighbor. Okay, so what it's saying is that this is the minimum of what is required of a Catholic to be a practicing Catholic in the Church. So once you've been baptized, once you've had your first communion, once you've been confirmed, all those kind of sacraments, this is how you stay a practicing Catholic. So those are sacraments of initiation. That's how you enter the Church. So you might be a practicing Catholic if you're younger than like high school age and have not received all of those sacraments, because there is like a time and place for those. But if you're an adult and you have received all the sacraments of initiation, then these are the things you should be doing in order to maintain your Catholic faith. Kind of what they're saying. I hope that makes sense. So now, the first precept. Attend Mass on Sundays and on holy days of obligation, and rest from servile labor. This requires the faithful to sanctify the day commemorating the resurrection of the Lord, as well as the principal liturgical feasts honoring the mysteries of the Lord, Blessed Virgin Mary, and the saints in the first place, by participating in the Eucharistic celebration in which the Christian community is gathered, and by resting from those works and activities which could impede such a sanctification of these days. So, number 1, go to Mass. That's basically what it's saying. It's very easy to find which days are holy days of obligation. Your church will tell you probably, like, oh, here are the days for these feasts on Masses. So it should be in a bulletin if you go to a regular one church a week. But otherwise, use the internet. It's a great resource. And I could do a video talking about the different holy days of obligation, and I could. And if you request that, I will. So just comment down below and let me know if that's a resource that you'd like me to give to you. So holy days of obligation, there's not that many. And then every Sunday or Saturday, if it is a Mass for the weekend Mass. So one thing is that Saturday Masses, there is a Mass with readings and things that are separate from regular weekend masses. Not many churches do it. So you could go to mass every day of the week, but usually they just don't do like a regular weekday kind of mass that has only 2 readings, like they do Monday through Friday. They can do one for Saturday, but most churches opt out of that because they'll do the Sunday readings and do the bigger celebration of the Sunday to fulfill your obligation for the weekend. So most Saturday masses are safe, just to keep in your head that is a thing. So the reason that we go to mass every Sunday, number 1, Jesus rose from the dead on Sunday. So that's the main reason, is that we're celebrating his life and his saving us. Obviously we don't focus on that every Sunday. In the readings, we do have an A cycle, a B cycle, and a C cycle for which readings we're going to be doing in the Catholic Church. So that changes each year. So you're not hearing the same thing every single weekend. You're gaining new things. And because there's 3 cycles, you don't hear them the same every year. They might be mostly the same for like Christmas and Easter, but they could use different Bibles or books from the Bible. So maybe in the Gospels they might change those for a little bit, but it should all be different readings. I could do a whole video on why you should go to Mass on Sunday, but main reason is God asks you to. It's in the 10 Commandments. Some people take it as, to keep the Sabbath day holy, as in like, just pray at home. He's really asking you to go to Mass. And if you think about it, there's only 52 weeks in a year, plus your holy days of obligation, which there's only like between 5 and 7 of them. I'm not positive about that number, so look it up for sure, but there's not that many. You could go to Mass every day, and that is amazing, but he only asks a minimum of those days, and it's only about an hour of your life. So he died for us, and he's asking for little over 52 hours a year. That's the minimum you do. I don't think it's a lot to ask. Something to think on. The second precept, you shall confess your sins at least once a year. This ensures preparation for the Eucharist by the reception of the sacrament of reconciliation, which constitutes baptism's work of conversion and forgiveness. So, obviously, if you have not had your first communion or your first confession, this is not necessary yet. But once you've received those sacraments of initiation, you do need to go to confession once a year. The church says this because we are not perfect, and while we strive to not sin in our lives, we know that realistically we will fall, and if you don't, okay, but because of our inclination to sin, we are asked to go to confession once a year. And this plays into the second one, which I'll talk about. But when it says the sacrament of reconciliation, which continues baptism's work of conversion and forgiveness. When we have sin on our soul, it is easier for us to sin more and repeat sins. But when we have a clean soul, it's easier for us to stay close to God. And so every time we go to confession, we are becoming closer to Him. We are attempting to not commit those same sins and grow in our faith and in our holiness. So it's really a good idea to go to confession more than once a year, but once a year is the minimum, and I'll get to why in a second. The third precept, you shall receive the Eucharist, the sacrament of the Eucharist, at least during the Easter season. It guarantees, as a minimum, the reception of the Lord's body and blood in the connection with the Paschal feast, an origin and center of the Christian liturgy. Here's some heavy stuff coming at you. So, the third precept, or fourth, isn't it? Yeah, it's the fourth. Nope, third. I'm taking so long. Is so that because you have cleaned your soul once a year minimum, that Sunday during the Easter season, you should receive the Eucharist. So after, if you go and have reconciliation during the Easter season, then your soul will be ready to receive the Lord in the Easter season, because there's a couple weeks where we're still in the Easter season and then it goes back to ordinary time. So it's important for us to receive Christ in that very intimate sacrament where we literally become one with Him in our body because we have consumed Him. So it's so important that that is the center of the Easter season. One, because you're commemorating His death, but you're also letting Him come into your life more intimately than before. This is not to say that you cannot receive Eucharist every week that you go to Mass on Sunday, because you are required to go to Mass on Sunday. You are not required to receive Eucharist. This is very important. Some people are like, oh, I don't want to go to Mass because I have a mortal sin. Well, go to confession, but you can go to Mass with a mortal sin. You cannot receive Eucharist with a mortal sin. So if you are in the state of mortal sin, you do not want to receive Christ. It's a sin in and of itself, as defined by the Church, because you are so separated from Him, because it's a mortal sin, not a venial sin. So you have to go to confession before that sin is taken away. Venial sins can be removed by praying with holy water, confession, of course, and you should confess them, because it's important to get rid of those and talk about them with a priest. But there's certain points in the Mass where those can be forgiven, and that's a whole other subject. Mortal sins can only be forgiven by a priest in the sacrament of confession. So that's really important as to why you go to the sacrament of confession and you receive Eucharist once a year at least. That's why. But you do have to go to Mass every Sunday. The fourth precept, you shall observe the days of fasting and abstinence established by the Church. This ensures the times of penance, which prepares us for the liturgical feasts and helps us to acquire mastery over our instincts and freedom of heart. So, especially during Lent, there are times of fasting and abstinence from meat. So it's very important to adhere to those to grow in self-control, mainly. Because when we grow in self-control over those little things, then we can grow in self-control over bigger things that would be sins. So there's ages for all of this. At some point, I think by 65, something up there in those numbers, by age 65, 70, you don't have to adhere to those because it may be bad for your health. When you're younger, like 13 younger, you don't have to. You can find it online. It's not hard to find. But adhering to those helps you grow spiritually. And offering those up and connecting that with Christ's suffering is very important as well. Alright, finally, the fifth precept of the Church. You shall help to provide for the needs of the Church. This means that the faithful are obliged to assist with the material needs of the Church, each according to his own ability. So this is talking about tithing, as well as volunteering. However you do this is up to you, but you should be tithing if you have an income, as you're able. There's a great story in the Bible where Jesus talks about the women who gave her 3 coins, and then everyone else who looked down on her because she only gave 3 coins, but it was what she had. And so that meant more to him than the people who gave much but was meaningless to them. So it's in the state of giving that we can receive. So it's really important that we help out our church. And your church will probably have lists of things that the money goes to. And so you can kind of decide sometimes, like if it goes to maintenance or if it goes to charity work, that kind of thing. And it's really important to do that, because without that, the church would not be able to help people. And so part of that also, material needs. Maybe you buy things for the church or give things when you're done with them. I don't know. But then just giving is the main idea in that sense. So I hope that all of this made sense. I hope that I explained it well. And I pray that you'll kind of internalize everything that I've said. You'll go and read the Catechism of the Catholic Church, find more resources online, because it is such a beautiful thing to be a practicing Catholic. Especially when you're in college. I'm going to bring the college piece in, so if you're not in college, this could still pertain to you. Having that at the center of my life while I'm in college allows me to remember who my God is, who my Savior is, and what really matters. Yes, school matters, but in the end, we all die, and I want to know where I'm going, and so I'm always going to strive to be a practicing Catholic who is growing in her faith, who is striving for holiness, as is all of our callings. We are called to love and we are called to holiness. So that is what I'm striving for. Being a practicing Catholic allows me to grow in that and just center my life around God and allow Him to make the big decisions in my life. So if you have any questions, please put them down below. Subscribe to my channel so you'll see more videos like this and other ones. Find me on Instagram. And like this video if you enjoyed it as a little different thing. So I hope to see you all soon. Have a very blessed rest of your day. And yeah, bye!